Hey, what's going on, chat? I'm Houses Are Big, and today we're doing an introduction to Classic Yi. I've been playing online for the past few months before release, and I'm mostly known for playing this deck. In the second Rift Lab trials, I made 14th out of 115 players with a 5-2 record after Swiss. Both of my losses were to players who ultimately made the top 8 cut, so I don't really feel too bad, and that's just how it goes sometimes. But I still think that Classic Yi can be a powerful deck that rewards strong fundamentals and deep matchup knowledge. If you're coming from other card games and you like a tempo reactive playstyle with strong options to disrupt your opponent's game plan, then this is the deck for you. Master Yi's legend ability is, while a friendly unit defends alone, it gets +2 might. If we can manage to successfully conquer a battlefield, we have a pretty good chance to hold it, and our combat tricks will help us do both. Discipline and On Guard are our reaction speed combat tricks that give us 2 might. While this seems small, it is often enough to win combats and save us from removal in the early to mid game. Primal Strength is an action speed combat trick that gives us a whole 7 might. While not as versatile as our reaction speed friends, it is often more than enough to win us most combats. Our strong ability to protect our units allows us to choose battlefields that benefit from that. The Dreaming Tree reads, the first time you choose a friendly unit with a spell here each turn, draw 1. It allows us to go card positive when using our combat tricks on it, often making it unrewarding for opponents to fight us on it. Battlefields like Startip's Peak and Grove the Godwillow reward us for holding, which often compels opponents to take huge risks attacking through our legend ability and combat tricks. The Dreaming Tree is our Game 1 battlefield since it allows us to make great use of our combat tricks and doesn't really care whether we go first or not. The Grove of the Godwillow is our go first battlefield since we will have the first chance to be on it and have a great chance of holding onto it, especially post board. I like the Candlelit Sanctum as our go second battlefield since it allows us to dig for our sideboard cards post board, but Star-Tipped Peak is also a good choice if you are confident in your ability to hold onto it even if you're going second. For a smooth early game, a good rule to follow is that you want to have 1 2-drop and 2 combat tricks to help protect your 2-drop. Our early game plan is to use our 2-drops and combat tricks to secure a single battlefield. This is because we usually don't have enough resources to conquer and properly secure another battlefield until we get more runes. The best card we have for transitioning from the early game to the mid and late game is Tasty Feyfolk, as he defends for 8 might, and upon death will ramp us 2 runes and draw us a card, basically getting us to the point where we can cast whatever we need to close out the game. At 8 to 10 runes, we will have access to our larger units with backup from our combat tricks and disruption to ensure victory. This is where our chosen champion, Master Yi Honed, comes in. Orange Yi is a 6 might unit that costs 7 energy and 1 orange power that enters ready and has ganking. Our legend ability means that he defends for 8, making it very difficult for the opponent to beat in combat. If he ever survives and holds, Orange Yi often runs away with the game since he can just gank and double score and do it again, especially since we untap and we have a lot of ways to protect him at that point. This dynamic makes the threat of Yi from the chosen champion zone very strong, often slowing down the pace of the game to make sure you're not able to get a free conquer and hold. Our other closers include White Flame Protector and Dead Bloom Predator, both of which help you to conquer and hold battlefields with 10 might on defense. Our sideboard contains Unyielding Spirit for spell and ability damage-based decks like Kaisa, Sabotage and Windwall for spell-based decks that use cards like Time Warp, Adaptatron, who helps us against gear-based decks like Aurora and Hook, and Sabotage also flexing in to help us do the same thing, and also Rune Prison, which helps us against cards that rely on huge attacks like Vi Destructive. The full deck list is on screen now, and a link will be included in the description. Let me know in the comments if you guys have any questions about that deck list. And while that's on screen for you, we're going to go ahead and conclude with the common misconceptions about the deck. A common misconception is that Master Yi is a good beginner deck, but I actually think it's best for intermediates. It requires decent fundamentals and a decent familiarity with other decks in the meta, A lot of times, beginner players are just trying to learn the game and they need effects that are mostly unambiguous and don't require you to know the rules of the game very deeply. Like, for example, using your reaction speed spells optimally really requires you to know how priority works in the game, and also requires you to know what the opponent has to beat those spells. So it actually requires a lot more knowledge than most people think. A caveat is that players coming from other card games will probably have enough transferable skills to be able to pick up this deck quickly, especially if they have experience with reactive playstyles. Like, for example, Magic players who play tempo decks that have counterspells in them will probably have a fairly easy time converting over to playing this deck. Another common misconception with this deck is that it is a brain-dead helmet deck where you just counter all your opponent's plays and win. While there is some truth to this, you still need to be a fundamentally strong player with a deep understanding of the meta to unlock the full potential of the deck. With reactive decks, mistakes are often caused by a lack of understanding of what the opponent's deck is capable of, and it only takes one of these kinds of mistakes to lose. But that's what makes this deck rewarding. With great skill and preparation, we often have the tools to come out ahead. I hope you've enjoyed this brief introduction to the deck. If you'd like me to do a more in-depth guide, go ahead and leave a comment. If you're interested in watching some Master Yi gameplay, I'm going to leave a link in the description to a playlist with a bunch of that with commentary. Otherwise, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys later. Peace.